Still recovering from the beating we took at Barrington Tops, the crew prepared themselves for another hard day of wheeling. As Bree and Nick took the canopy off the patrol, Tyler went home and swapped his trusty nav out for his patrol, as today Bree and Tyler were going to settle the debate on who had the better patrol. And finally, a big shout out to S&P Complete Automotive in Port Macquarie for helping us repair our pop beads from the trip to Barrington Tops. Our first stop was a watering hole Gary has been coming to for years. He won't reveal this location as it's a well-kept local secret, but we will share one of the highlights from this spot. After a quick dip and a team photo, we then headed a bit further up the track to try and find a view from the top of this mountain. Tyler and I managed to get into the perfect positions to take in one of the most spectacular views from the whole trip.
I think it's about 5 meters down from here. Yeah, looks pretty good.
Wow! We snapped some great shots before once again we were hit with some timely rain, forcing us to travel back down the hill and off the mountain. On the trip back down, we took a rather tricky track that appeared to be just bush and shrub at the start, before opening up to reveal much more rocky terrain. We were all really enjoying the pinstriping down the side of our cars. On a normal day, this part of the track would have been fairly easy, but the recent rain had made it impossibly slippery for the heavier and unlocked vehicles to make it up. So the few vehicles that could make it up continued up to a monster climb called Bago Steps. Tyler was first up, eager for a go. Trying his hardest before getting stuck on a large rock. Things were getting pretty precarious, as even trying to reverse could result in the vehicle being put on a very uncomfortable angle, or even risk rolling. Realizing we needed a winch it, we found a nice sturdy tree to attach to, slowly bringing Tyler's patrol back down on all four wheels, up the rocks and past the steps. Deciding the line on the other side of the track looked a little less gnarly, Nick made the next run up. He got a decent way up the track, only getting stuck on the last little bit. Thankfully, a quick winch got him up just fine. Really goes to show how the lighter vehicles are much more capable on tracks like this. Bree was up next, going the same way Tyler did to see if she can get any further in her patrol. Predictably, she only got just about as far as Tyler did before she needed a winch too.
Go TJ.
Fine. Yeah, well, I'll drive around and we'll just say that the SD card went. Yeah.
I'll use my cutting visual effects to make it work.
We had a quick detour to see another secret local challenge, which was just after a very tight underpass off the main road. Caught up in the excitement, we think Nick may have gone in the wrong way.
So we've had a pretty big day wheeling so far, and we've had one of our vehicles get himself a little bit stuck, to say the least, trying to tackle something I don't think he or the vehicle was prepared for. I think he was prepared for it, maybe not the vehicle. I'm just going to try and get him out now off the winch. He's in a really, really terrible spot. So we'll see if we can get him out and then head on back to the camp and have some dinner, I reckon. I reckon that's going to be a wrap for today.
But Nick had something else in mind. One last track. An easy one, a baby track, or so he made it seem.
How you feeling about it?
Better now that I'm down that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
For the gram, right?
That's right.
After about 500 metres or so, it became very apparent that this was not the baby track we were promised. It had been constantly raining all day here, resulting in the track being nothing but muddy mush, which made a typically easy two-wheel drive track an absolute nightmare of max tracks, winching and snatch recoveries. Checking out our location on HEMA maps, we looked to be right near the end of the track. Then our spirits sank as we realised we had spent the last 2 hours here only to be greeted by a massive, car-swallowing rut over 2 metres deep just at the end of the exit of the track. We put the thought of a warm dinner and a cold beer on pause as we tried to figure out how we were going to tackle this one. Nick, being the absolute mad lad that he is, put his hand up to go first. And to our surprise, only sustained a small amount of damage to the front fender, flare, side mirror, and his tray.
Yeah, the blue waffle!
Overall, not a bad effort. It'll definitely buff out. Might be time for a new G-Works tray.
Alright, taking on the biggest rut of the trip. Let's see how we go.
Upon seeing the carnage on Nick's vehicle, Tyler decided a different approach.
So just go where I'm going?
Oh my god. Oh. Okay, we've committed. We've committed, haven't we?
By taking a high line on the wall of the rut, he managed to shimmy along the wall without too much damage.
You can kiss the ground, can't you? This is more excitement than I bargained for.
Been a track building.
He took it slow and steady and managed to make it down in one piece.
Oh, okay.
That was
Ooh.
an experience.
No. Yes.
Nick's real quiet now.
Oh, many noises.
That's all the springs popping in and out. Do you want to see a real vehicle flex, mate? Mate, I don't need flex. Bit of coil poppage. Hey, it was easy, I don't know what you're worried about.
You are insane.
As we were moving and shuffling the cars around so Bree could have a crack, TJ's rear wheel slipped down the side of a rut. As he tried to get himself out, the wet clay just kept pulling him in deeper and deeper, and on more of a bad angle. We all jumped out of the vehicles to assess the situation. TJ's door was hard up against the bank. He couldn't move forward or back without sustaining panel damage, or at the very least, some deep scratches, so we opted for a recovery. We decided the safest way to get the nav out of the rut was to pull it sideways, but the track being as skinny as it was, we needed to get creative. We pulled together everyone's recovery gear and managed to turn around the Ranger, so we had to winch at both the front and rear of TJ's vehicle. Using 2 winch rings and some trees deep in the forest off the side of the track, we managed to get the ropes on a better angle to slowly pull back and forth until TJ's car was out of the rut. After that little ordeal, Bree was still keen to take the short route out through the massive rut. Taking the same line as Tyler before, her massive 37-inch tyres were able to get up and drive straight over it.
You're killing it. Easy 10 minutes.
You're a machine.
37 left.
TJ and I, along with the camera car, checked on HEMA maps and found that only about a kilometre of the track backwards was another side track that would take us back out to the main road. so we decided not to risk the damage and turn back. To our surprise, Gary said that he was going to give it a go and drive the RUT in his MUX. Choosing a completely different line, he made it down with only some minor panel damage. What an absolute weapon.
Oh, that was out there, mate. That was out there big time. I thought I was going to touch the passenger door. Ah, that was choice.
After all of this, we decided it was time to finally go home and have a cold, well-deserved beer. By this point, we were sad the trip was coming to an end, but we were welcomed by a hearty fire and a delicious home-cooked meal of strawberry lamb at Nick's place, where we exchanged stories, went over the day's adventures, argued over who had the best four-wheel drive and who tackled the biggest obstacles.
And yeah, shout out to New South Wales for turning it up for us.
This was definitely a trip to remember, and we couldn't have done it without the whole crew. A huge thanks to everyone that came on board, Tyler, TJ and Bree. It was such a great trip and we can't wait for the next one.